Good morning, everybody from New Haven, Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining us today for this information session about our Master of Advanced Management at Yale School of Management. My name is Camino De Paz. I'm the Assistant Dean of Global Network Programs. And I'm here with two of my colleagues, Elena Heath in the back, and helping us with all the logistics for this webinar, and Evelyn Wilson, who will introduce herself right now, that is joining me in this session today. Evelyn.
Thanks, Camino. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all here today. Excited to share a little bit more information about the Master of Advanced Management program here at Yale SOM. Thanks, Camino.
Thank you. So before we start, I'm going to ask my colleague Elena to please put our brochure on the chat. So you have all the information that we're going to be providing you today via this session, but you can also check our website and then check our brochure. It's still the one from last year, but all the relevant information is still there. You can download it, and you can also find it on our web. Thank you, Elena. The way we're going to be proceeding for the session is we're going to go through all our slides, and then we're going to be taking your questions, which is a really important part of the session. So I encourage everybody to put in the Q&A your questions, and we will be taking them at the end. So be patient, but we will definitely go over the questions. We also have some questions that you pre-submitted when you registered for the webinar. So we have those handy as well. And so hopefully you leave this session with all, if not all, most of your questions answered. So let's dive into it. The Master of Advanced Management is a one-year degree program for graduates from MBA degrees. So you do need an MBA in order to join our Master of Advanced Management. That being said, you can apply to our program prior to starting your MBA, during your MBA, or post-MBA. We're going to get into this later. But again, it's a residential program. It's actually 1 year. It starts in mid-August, and graduation is late May. The profile of the current class, we have the class that has just graduated. We had 49 MBA graduates coming from 19 countries of citizenship. 96% of them hold an international passport. They were representing 27 MBA schools, 14 Global Network for Advanced Management schools, which is a network that Yale SOM and 31 other schools are members of, but we also receive in this program students from any global school. So 14 GNAM schools, and the rest are non-GNAM schools. Average age is 31 years old. What I want to say in the average age is that while this is the average, we have a very large range, because students coming from, for example, India, they tend to be younger because they finish their studies earlier and they do their MBA earlier. While students coming from other countries, like, for example, those coming from Africa, they tend to be older, because the trend there is to do the program later, and usually an executive MBA, that's what they do. So the average is 31, but we might have students coming from 25 all the way to 40 years old. I just want to make that clarification because we get a lot of questions about the age. 35% women. We really want to bring this percentage up to 50%, but we all know that as we advance in life, and this is second graduate degree, unfortunately we get fewer women to continue studying this long in life, but we're hoping to get this to 50%, and we're working really hard on it. 94% speak 2 or more languages, and the average work experience is 7 years. Our students come from all over the world. So this is this 70 countries and 6 continents. Obviously, it's not the class of 2024. This is the history of the program. But they come literally from all over the world. This is a truly global program. And we're very proud of how this program, along with the Master in Global Business and Society, have really helped globalize our school, because these 2 programs are the ones that really bring the truly global talent to Yale SOM. So if you were to join our MAM, who will you be sharing campus with and classes with? So this is the portfolio of programs that we have at Yale School of Management. Starting on the left-hand side, we have our full-time MBA. It's a 2-year degree program, usually around 350 students per cohort. And as part of the full-time MBA, we do have the Silver Scholars Program. It's a niche program for real talented recent graduates from college who join the MBA, even though the average work experience for an MBA is 5 years. They do join the program right after college. They do the first year, which is the core. Then they go work for a couple of years, 3 years, and then they come back and do the electives. So this program, the full-time MBA, you're gonna be interacting with a lot because you will be joining them during the second year and you will be taking a lot of classes with them. The second program is the MBA for Executives. This is, on the contrary, the program that you are gonna be interacting with the least. This is a part-time program. They come to campus every other weekend, Fridays and Saturdays. And the reason why you will not be seeing them as much is because they're gonna be in class the days that you don't have classes. So you might interact in some of your extracurricular activities or connect with them with some conferences or events at SOM, but you will not be sharing classes with our MBA for Executives. Then we have the Master of Advanced Management. Again, a 1-year degree program for MBA graduates from around the world. And then we have our Master of Management Studies programs, which currently we have 3 programs: the Global Business and Society, the Asset Management, and Systemic Risk. The first 2, they are pre-experienced programs. So our students come with less experience than in the other programs that we are presenting today. They usually have up to 1, maybe 2 years of experience, and they join us for these particular programs. And then we have our PhD program, and you will be interacting with the students because a lot of times they act as teaching assistants of our faculty, and then they will be in class with you, but not sharing basically the learning experience, but the teaching experience. So this is a little bit who we are at Yale SOM. We have around 1,000 students per year. So while it might seem big for some schools outside of the US, we are actually a very small school for the United States. So what is our mission statement? Our mission statement is to educate leaders for business and society. So every single business school in the world educates leaders for business. And we are very, very proud of the second part of our mission, which is and society. This is gonna be present in everything we do at the school. Everyone in the school, from the person that welcomes you at the front door all the way to the dean, we all know that we educate leaders for business and society. And again, this is going to be present in our academic life, but also in our extra academic life. You will have a lot of content that links to the society piece in the curriculum, but we will also have a lot of activities and extracurricular conferences that link to that society piece, like the impact the business has in society and the world. That being said, if it's so important to us, clearly we're going to be looking for this in our applicants. So I'm already giving you a hint for the admission process, because we are going to be carefully looking that you fit this mission. So try to convey that message to us. What is the impact that you're trying to make in the world? What causes are important to you beyond the business or industry that you're working in? There are many ways that you can show us. We'll have different essays. We're going to be talking about the different parts of the applications. You can convey that message there. We're going to have an interview if you get invited to one. We'll have video questions as well. So this is in the application, you do have to show all your strengths, and this definitely will be a very important one to us that we're going to be carefully looking at. So who should do the MAM, and why should you be considering the MAM? The first thing that I want to say is that this is not a program for everybody. Like you are doing an MBA or considering doing an MBA or recently graduated from an MBA, and you can very well go back to the workforce and just continue your career. So this program is for those people that want to go deeper in a specific area that they haven't had the chance to do because of the general management kind of type of program that the MBA is, or they want to go broader. They want to go outside of the management field and explore other areas that they haven't had the opportunity. For example, we are experts in Yale SOM MAM behavioral science. If that is something that you are very interested in, you can dig deeper in like consumer behavior, influence and persuasion, behavioral finance. You could go deeper into a specific area, or you can then explore other areas and even go outside of the Yale School of Management and take classes at any of the other professional schools. So at the end of the year, you will have two networks, the school where you study your MBA at, and then Yale SOM, two brands. A global career, our MAM students are literally all over the world working, and a community of purpose. When I talk about community of purpose, I'm not just talking about Yale SOM, I'm talking about Yale as a whole. There is no way that you're not going to find a Yale, no matter where you end up in your career in the world. So they will be there for you, and they will expect the same in return. They will expect also you to be there for them. So let's go a little bit into the curriculum. What does the MAM look like? I was saying that it's for people that want to go deeper, for people that want to go broader, but how do you shape the curriculum? Well, it's very much up to you. And this is probably the first time in your life as a student that you will have a say in what you're going to be studying. So basically, we only have 2 units of required courses. And then all the rest is really, really, really up to you. So you have total freedom for 36 units. The required courses are both related to leadership. One is topics in advanced management for business and society. Again, you already see here our mission in our core courses. So again, it's going to be all over the curriculum. And then the second one is global leadership, personal and interpersonal effectiveness. So again, 2 courses related to leadership. One is regarding the impact that business make in society. The other one will work more with your personal skills as a future leader and effective leader as well. And then again, the 36 units of electives, you can choose from more than 150 electives that we have at Yale SOM, or you can go and take classes at any of the other 12 professional schools and the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. So total freedom, which is very, very nice, but it comes with challenges as well, because there's a lot of work that you have to do to prepare to come to this program. You cannot expect to arrive on campus and then decide what classes you're going to take. You will have to do some kind of pre-work research and kind of build your curriculum in a way that makes sense for your professional or personal goals. I always encourage everybody to take a class just for their personal interest, not professional one. So let me talk a little bit about the management science major. This program is eligible for management science major, which means that those of you interested in STEM can take some of the classes in this discipline. And then that doesn't mean that the MAM will then have like any kind of a specialization. The degree is a Master of Advanced Management. It doesn't come with any specialization. But the management science major can help you with your OPT extension. OPT stands for Optional Practical Training. And for those of you that are not familiar with degrees in the US, if you graduate from any degree in the United States, then you are eligible for 1 year of optional practical training, meaning that you can stay in the United States and work under your student visa. You don't need to be a sponsor for a work visa for 1 year post your degree. There's a caveat here, you need a job offer. So it's not automatic. You do have to have a job in order to be eligible for optional practical training. For those of you that decide to pursue the management science major, that means that you will have to take some classes that we have kind of pre-selected in STEM. So we have here there are 26 elective options. We're here putting the ones that are most popular. So this is not a extensive list. It's just the ones the electives that are most popular. But you will have to take 16 units of credit of STEM classes. And then you will have to apply for a job that is STEM related. If that's the case, you would be then eligible to, after the first year of optional practical training, to apply for an extension of 2 more years, making the whole OPT for those STEM eligible for 3 years. Again, you need a job offer, so it's not automatic. And 2, you need to be approved. So you have to carefully think about this, because it's not just, checking the box, saying I want to do the STEM major and taking the classes. Then the job that you ultimately have to work in post MAM has to be STEM related. If not, you will not get approved. Also, for the management science major, you have to declare it in your application. So there have been different changes in policy. So if you're talking to alumni, there was some flexibility earlier, but we are now requiring that everybody declares the management science major within your application. And Evelyn will go through the application process later, and she will let you know where to do it and how to do it. Okay, so this is how your curriculum will look like should you decide to choose the management science major. You will have the 4 units of required courses on leadership that we mentioned earlier. Then you have 16 units that are management science major courses. And then you still have 20 units that are completely up to you, again, to choose whatever courses you might be interested in. Just to give you a reference, a full semester course is 4 units of credit, and a half semester course is 2 units of credit, so that you kind of make your calculations of how many courses you will actually have to take. So before I hand it over to Evelyn for the fun part of the presentation, which is the extracurricular activities and the admission process itself, I just want to give you 2 examples of 2 of our students who graduated with the same degree, Master of Advanced Management, but as you can see, they took completely different curriculums and they graduated with the same degree. So we have June, who took a lot of classes, which I don't know if I recommend to take all this load, but that's what they did. And they took a lot of classes in management, then a couple of classes in global issues at the Jackson Institute of Global Affairs, a class in film, a couple of classes at the law school, a class in languages, and then a music and theater. So they took a lot of management and then a little bit of a mix of different things that they might have professional or personal interest in. And then Matthew, on the right-hand side, really focused on management and finance. Those were his 2 areas, and they just took a lot of classes in those 2 areas, and then took a class in art, entrepreneurship in the art market. I'm pretty sure that he was just interested in this particular topic, probably for personal reasons. And again, this is something I encourage everybody to do, to take a class just for you, not just thinking about your next job, but something that really fulfills you. It's a great opportunity to be at a university with so many resources, to not take advantage of something that really, makes you happy. So this is, again, 2 examples, and I can't wait to see how the curriculum will look like for you. With this, I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Evelyn, who's going to be talking about something that is as important, if not more, which is what happens outside of the classroom. Evelyn?
Perfect. Thank you, Camino. Yeah, as Camino said, I think this is a really fun part of this presentation. So I'm definitely very glad to be here sharing with you all what your life outside of the classroom could look like here at Yale SOM. So pictured on the screen here are just a few examples of things that you can get involved with. So I'll talk through each of them, but there's also lots more opportunities and events happening each and every day here on campus. So again, there's no end of things that you can get involved with here at Yale SOM. So to talk a little bit about our first picture, on the upper left-hand corner, we have a picture of our hockey club, our ice hockey club here at SOM. This is one of our most popular student clubs. But we have over 60 clubs and student organizations that you can choose from. There's no fee to join any of these clubs, so it's a really great opportunity to get involved. But again, keep in mind your work-life balance and how much you're going to be stretching your time here at SOM. But again, just to give you a picture of things that you can get involved with, our ice hockey club is a really popular one. Many of the students pictured in this image here have probably never even worn skates before. So there's no experience required to join any of our clubs here, but it's a really fun way to maybe try something new, experience a sport that's very popular here in the Northeast coast of the US as well. So again, lots of different opportunities here. I I mentioned we have over 60 clubs. Those include professional clubs, sports clubs, affinity clubs, geographical clubs. There's really no end of clubs that you can join here at SOM. So lots of opportunities to connect with your peers and network, as well as have some fun outside of the classroom at SOM. At the top middle picture is a picture from field day. So this happens usually the weekend right after orientation. We get all the cohorts and programs together. Second year MBAs come back to join and meet their first year MBA incoming students. And then we have our one-year degree programs such as the MAM program join as well. And it's really just a really fun day outside. Our student orientation leaders plan a whole day of programming with little, competitions and activities, competing against each other, keeping track of who's winning at each of the games throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, there's they, tally up the scores and there's a winning team. Everybody wears their cohort colors, and it's kind of a really fun way to get to know your classmates and have some fun together outside. Next, we have Responsible AI and Global Business. This was a conference that was held this year. I think this is the second or third year that this conference has been held, so it's a pretty new one. But there's lots of other conferences that are held at SOM every year as well. Off the top of my head, the Education Conference, the Healthcare Conference are two that have been running for a very long time. Students lead all of the conferences that are hosted here, so it's a great way to get involved with the community, take a leadership opportunity at the school, and also just, a way to attend some really interesting talks or conferences and learn about interesting topics. We've had a Fempire conference for several years running now as well. So this is talking about women in the business world. And so again, lots of ways to get involved with conferences. We also have case competitions that students join every year. So those are really popular activities for students to join as well. Moving down to the bottom tier, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see a picture from our Friendsgiving celebration. This is a take on the local American holiday of Thanksgiving, which happens in November. It's just a really great way to bring the community together. You can see pictured here, really long tables are put down throughout the hallways of our building here at Evans Hall, and the entire community is invited to come and share a meal together. Our chef makes a really delicious Thanksgiving meal with turkey and potatoes and pies. And it's really just a fun way to bring the community together and celebrate the really amazing community that we have here at SOM. In the middle on the bottom, we have a picture of the Yale Harvard tailgate. So I'm sure you'll be familiar that Yale and Harvard have a centuries-long rivalry between our two schools. And there's a big football game, American football game, that is hosted every year. It alternates who hosts it, Yale one year, and then Harvard will be the next. But no matter where it is located, there's always a big social gathering before the game. So here you can see pictured the big white tent in the background and lots of Yale SOM students coming together to just enjoy each other's company before going to the game itself. And then on the final picture in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see Handsome Dan, who is our mascot at Yale. Handsome Dan is a real dog, a bulldog, and he's a very popular member of Yale. He has a social media presence that's very popular, so you're welcome to find him and check out what he's up to on Instagram, or probably other social media platforms as well. But you can frequently see him around campus. Here he's pictured at our building at Evans Hall. And some of our SOM students are enjoying his company and getting a little bit of Handsome Dan love. So you can definitely see him around campus, and he loves to join in student social events as well. On our next page, we have some pictures here to share with you the really amazing caliber of speakers that we attract at Yale SOM. So here are just a few examples, but there's always someone really interesting in town or somebody who's really inspirational to listen to and attend their talk. So I'll share a couple of examples here, but this is really just to share with you the caliber of speakers that we attract and yeah, to encourage you to keep your eyes and ears out when you're here on campus. Last year, we hosted Stella McCartney, of course, a world-renowned fashion designer. She held a really interesting talk about sustainability in the fashion industry. So she's pictured here with Indra Nooyi, who's one of our alums of Yale SOM, and they had a really, really wonderful and inspirational conversation. We also hosted Janet Yellen, who's currently the Secretary of the Treasury and formerly the Chairman of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. You can see her here talking with Andrew Metrick, who's one of our faculty members at Yale SOM. And then my favorite picture to share is the third one here. We were fortunate enough to host the President of the Republic of Ghana a few years ago. And in that year, we actually had an MAM student who was from Ghana. And she is pictured here presenting a gift on behalf of Yale SOM to the president of her country, which I'm sure is an experience that she probably didn't expect to have when she was applying to Yale SOM, but something that was, really incredible for her and meaningful for us at the School of Management as well. So it really just goes to show you never know who you're going to see or bump into here on the Yale campus, and particularly at SOM. Or the Yale campus and also SOM are just really beautiful. This is a really wonderful place to spend a year of your life. It's got really lovely architecture, and New Haven is just kind of spread out with all of these lots of beautiful and inspirational buildings. I wish I could give you a virtual tour. There is actually a really great virtual tour with drones kind of flying through New Haven to give you a really great idea of what it looks like on the Yale campus, which I recommend checking out if you have a moment after this webinar. But here we have a few images to share with you just to give you a little taste of what it looks like around New Haven and on Yale's campus. So there's really beautiful Gothic architecture all over the city. All of these Yale buildings you will have access to as an SOM student. Pictured here at the top right-hand corner, you can see one of the many libraries across campus. They're just really beautiful and really, again, inspirational places to study. You'll have access to all the libraries on campus. So it's just a really nice place to spend some time and a part of your life here. We also have a dining hall that basically looks like it comes out of Harry Potter. So that's really a popular place for students to go and have lunch sometimes. But yeah, again, just a really beautiful place to spend a year of your life. The Northeast of the US is really lovely in general. All the leaves turn beautiful colors in the fall. So again, would love to have you come and share this beautiful environment with us. So let's talk a little bit about where MAM students end up after graduation. Pictured here are a few examples of organizations or companies that students have gone to after graduation. But these are, again, just a small snapshot. Many of our students take all kinds of different jobs after graduating. But here you can see Google, the United Nations, PwC, Amazon, BCG, and the Bank of China. As Camino mentioned, we have Yaleys all over the world. We have a very extensive alumni network spread out everywhere. We have alumni chapters everywhere, and we also have a very robust career development office as well. We have dedicated members of the Career Development Office who will work individually with you to really think about the next step in your global career and how we can help you get there and what you can be doing as well to make your dreams a reality. I think Camino mentioned as well earlier, many of our students consider working in the US after graduating. This is something that some students are able to do, but there are so many factors that finding a job in the US after graduation depend on. many of which you cannot control and also we cannot control as well. So working in the US can be a great option, but it should never be your main purpose or your ultimate goal for taking the MAM program. It could be a great benefit potentially, but you should always have a backup plan, if not several backup plans in mind as you're recruiting as well, to make sure that you're really going to get an outcome that you're happy with after the program. So again, these are just some examples of places that MAMs have gone after graduation, but there are many others as well. All right, let's talk a little bit about the application process. Hopefully you're excited about the program and you're hoping, to get started on your application really soon. So let's walk through what that's going to look like for you. We have an online application, so it's pretty easy to find and to begin working on. The application consists of several essays, 3 essays, which are very short. I think they're about 300 words maximum. So, you don't need to write too much, but think carefully about what you're including in them. As Camino mentioned, we're really looking for ways that you connect with our mission, and we want to hear about your career goals. But once I've talked through all of the elements of the application, I'll talk a little bit more about what we're looking for in the application as well. We would like to see your current resume, including all relevant work experience. And with your resume, we also are asking you to submit proof of employment for everything that's listed on your resume as well. So proof of employment could be a letter from HR just confirming that you were employed at this company on these dates. It could be a payslip, it could be a contract, really any kind of documentation just demonstrating or validating that you did indeed work there in the dates that are listed on your resume. We also require transcripts from all degree granting institutions. So as Camino mentioned, in order to be eligible for the MAM program, you need to have either completed or be working towards completing an MBA. So of course, we're going to want to see your MBA transcripts, at least any grades that you will have to date. Even if you have not yet completed your MBA, that's fine. We'll also want to see your undergrad transcripts. And keep in mind any exchange programs or transfer credits that you might have had between one university and another in your undergrad or even with your MBA. We'd like to see all of those transcripts as well. So any degree granting institution that you have attended and received grades from, we would like to see those transcripts as part of your application. We also do require a GMAT or a GRE test score. I know the GMAT recently updated the format into the GMAT Focus exam, so of course, we accept that as well. But we do require one of these test scores as part of your application. We often get asked if we can waive this test score requirement. Unfortunately, we cannot. So this is something that we will require as part of your application. We also require a couple of letters of recommendation. The first will need to come from a professional source. So somebody that you've worked with closely that can truly attest to what it's like to work with you in a professional setting. This could be a recent supervisor, someone from your current job or a former job, but really just somebody who knows you really well and can speak to the experience of working with you. Something important to note about this is that it will need to come directly from the recommender. Sometimes students will have a copy of a letter of recommendation that they might have received before from a former colleague or supervisor. Please don't upload this yourself. We really would like it to come directly from the recommender. We also require a letter of support or a letter of recommendation from the dean or director of your MBA program. So this is really just kind of attesting that you were a good citizen of the school, that you performed well in your MBA program. But again, we like it to come directly from the dean or director of your school. We have 3 video questions that are part of the application as well. Sometimes students get a little nervous about these, so I'm here to set your mind at ease. These are supposed to be fun. There's no right or wrong answers to the video questions, and it's a really great opportunity for you as a candidate to come alive off of the application page for us as the readers of your applications and for us to get to know you a little bit better. we're really looking to know, how do you approach problems, or how do you think? How do you approach the world? And again, there's no right or wrong answers. We're really just looking to get to know you. So our best advice is to be really genuine and authentic in the video questions. They usually take about 10 minutes or less for students to answer. So don't worry too much about them, and just kind of be yourself and be authentic. And we always look forward to this portion of the application. There's a $95 US dollar application fee that you'll need to pay. And then, as Camino mentioned earlier, the next stage of our application is an interview, which will happen over Zoom. So there's no need to come to New Haven. This is not an in-person portion of the application, but we will invite those candidates to interview who have made it to the next stage. So let's talk about our application deadlines. Our application is going to open on September 24th, and our round 1 deadline is January 8th. Don't feel like you need to wait until January to start your application. If you're really excited about the program, you can start it as soon as September 24th. Feel free to take your time on the application, take as much time as you need, but we really encourage students to start their application early to allow yourself plenty of time. And like I mentioned, to gather the documents that you might need for your proof of employment, things like that. So don't rush it. Take as long as you would like on the application. I'd also like to mention round 1 is reserved for our global network partner schools. So we have an acronym GNAM, which stands for the Global Network of Advanced Management. Students or alumni who have attended a GNAM school are reserved to apply in round 1. We welcome all applicants from across the world for the MAM program, but students who have not attended or are not attending a GNAM school will be welcome to apply in rounds 2 and 3. And GNAM students and alumni can also apply in rounds 1 and rounds 2 and 3. As I mentioned earlier, anyone can begin their application starting from September 24th. And you can actually, on your application, you can change the round. So if you're a non-GNAM school student, you can still begin your application early, and you can just put round 2 as the application that you will be applying in. Yeah, we would love to see your application in February or in April. Okay, affording your MAM. So we know that the MAM is a significant investment. It's an investment in you, and it's an investment in your future, but it's nonetheless something that is going to cost quite a lot of money. We have quite a few funding options that I will talk through in more detail in a moment. But I also just want to mention that it's going to be important for you to start thinking about how you are going to fund this program as well as you consider your putting together your application. So we have some scholarship options, and we work with international student loan providers, but it's a really good idea for you to also start to be exploring your options, talk to local banks, look for local scholarship opportunities or local loan providers. Again, while we work with an international student loan provider, we sometimes hear that students can find maybe better rates from a local loan provider. So just start thinking about these things as well. To talk more specifically about scholarships, every single student who is admitted to the MAM program is assessed for a merit scholarship. There is no need for students to submit additional documentation. Everybody will be assessed right off the bat with your application materials for merit scholarship. Merit scholarships range from about $10,000 to $40,000, so up to about half tuition, with everything in between possible. From there, if you still have a funding gap, you are welcome to apply for a need-aware scholarship. So once you've been admitted into the program, your merit scholarship will actually be announced to you right in your admission letter. So you'll know right up front how much merit you've been awarded, and there you're welcome to apply for additional need-aware scholarships on top of that once you've received your admission letter. We work with every admitted student to ensure a custom tailor-made financial aid package for them to make sure that this program is a possibility. But again, it's something that you should be thinking about, how are you going to be funding this program as well? So with that, that wraps up kind of the formal part of our presentation. Here we have a QR code to take you to our website, which has lots more information about the program, the application process, and everything there as well. We also have our email address at the bottom, advanced.management@yale.edu. Please reach out to us at any time. We love talking with prospective students. We are happy to talk through the application process, answer any questions you might have. So please never hesitate to reach out to us. We're always happy to connect with you and answer any questions you have. And on that note, we have some of your questions that you have pre-submitted. So Camino and I will kind of go back and forth and answer some questions now live with the remaining time that we have left in this session. And of course, if you have any other questions, please feel free to use the Q&A feature in the chat or the Q&A feature in the webinar. And I will open that right now. So yes, please ask your questions live in the Q&A feature. And while we're waiting to see if anybody has questions live, I will go to the pre-submitted questions to make sure that we answer those here today as well. Let's see. One person's asking about whether there is an online option or a hybrid option for the program. Unfortunately, the answer is no, there is not. The program is fully residential. It's a 9-month program, like Mino mentioned at the beginning, and it's only available for students to participate in person, and it's full-time as well. So there's no hybrid options and there's no online options either. It looks like somebody is asking a question in the Q&A to say, from a GNAM university, do I need to have a GMAT? Yes, the answer is yes. We cannot waive the test score portion for anybody. So all of our applicants need to submit a test score, either GMAT, GMAT Focus, or GRE, but we do need to have a test score from each and every applicant. Camino, do you want to take the next one about scholarships and funding options?
Absolutely. So is there a way of a full scholarship? The answer is maybe, but I shouldn't just think about relying on a full scholarship for the program. You should start looking for funding options. The reason under this is we do have a budget for scholarships, and we try to maximize that budget to help as many students as possible. So while a partial scholarship is more than likely to happen to most of our students, either through merit or need aware, full scholarships are possible but rare. So to get a full scholarship, you really have to be an exceptional student with basically no means to afford the program. So I guess my best answer to you is maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. I would start looking for funding options now.
Great, thanks, Camino. There's a couple more questions that are coming in, and I realized that I actually mentioned I would tell you a little bit more about what we're looking for in the application, and I forgot. So let me revisit that. There's lots of ways to stand out as an applicant for the MAM program. So of course, we're looking for academic excellence. We're looking for the most brilliant students who have graduated from an MBA to come and join us in the MAM program. So yes, we are looking for your GPA, we're looking for at your transcripts, but that is not the only way to stand out. We take a very holistic approach to reviewing applications. We're looking for really well-rounded applicants who are going to bring us the full picture. So we're also looking for international experience or international exposure. We're looking at your career history and also your career goals. What are you looking to do after the program would be finished? How do you connect with our mission? So really tell us in your essays, what mission connection do you have? What does our mission mean to you? And how will you be bringing this mission forth into the world and into your work after the program would be finishing? So there's lots of different ways to stand out in the application process, but we're really looking at everything holistically. So, if you have maybe a semester that you didn't do as well in your undergrad or, something like that, You can always write us an additional essay. We have an optional essay feature in our application that you can kind of, if there's anything you'd like to explain or let us know a little bit more information about something to do with your application, then please feel free to do that. But just know that there's lots of different ways to stand out as an applicant to this program. So it's not all just focused on your GPA or your test score. Okay, let's see. Somebody's asking about, when to apply as well. Camino, do you want to take that one? Maybe when would be the best time for an applicant to apply?
The best timing would be whenever you're ready. So I guess that's my best answer. There are people that really know that they want to do the MAM as part of their experience, and then they apply early. As soon as they start their MBA, there are people that realize that this could be a great opportunity halfway through their MBA program. And there are people that decide to finish their MBA and then assess their options and apply afterwards. So it really doesn't matter. It's whenever you're ready to submit your best application and whenever you have realized what is it that the MAM will provide to you. This is something that we're going to be looking at in the application. We want to understand why are you doing the MAM. So once you come to the realization that this is the next step that you want to take and you can kind of explain it to us, that's when you're ready to apply. But there's not a better or worse timing. I would say that if you have already graduated from your MBA, ideally it shouldn't be much longer after you've done your program, because the core of the MBA is going to be important for the classes you're going to take here. So there's not a strict kind of deadline. I would say that ideally no longer after 3 years post MBA. But again, it's not a fixed deadline because it really depends on what you've been working on. Yeah, again, whenever you're ready and decide to apply, that'll be perfect.
Great, thank you. A couple more specific questions about the tests are coming in. So for example, if you took a test that's a little bit older, a few years ago, and maybe it's going to expire during the application period, would we still accept that? The answer is yes. If you used the test score to apply to your MBA program, then that would be the one that we can use to assess your application for the MAM, even if it's a little bit on the older side or will be expiring during the application period. That's still fine. Another question that was pre-submitted was, if you don't have a GMAT or a test score when you're applying, can you submit that later? The answer is yes, sort of. So we can't start reading your application until it's complete. So we need to have your test scores in pretty soon, or at least within the application period, in order to be able to assess your file. So if you don't have your test score maybe by the January 8th deadline, but you're planning to take it a week later or maybe 2 weeks later, that would be fine. And you could submit your test score a little bit later. But we really don't like to encourage students to do that. It's really best to have your test taken and everything done and completed when you submit your applications to make sure that everything's ready. Because again, we're not able to read your file until everything's complete. So please try your best to really complete your test score before you submit your application, just to make sure that we have everything together. Some people are also asking about a minimum score. We don't have that. We actually really just encourage you to apply with the score that you have. We don't have data. We only recently started requiring the tests for the MAM program, so we don't have a lot of data to kind of draw from to share minimum scores or average scores. So again, just do your best on the test, and we'll have that as a requirement for the program as well. There's a student asking about clubs. Camino, do you want to take that one?
Absolutely. So yeah, Javier, thank you for your question. We have a question about what clubs can MAM students participate in, and the answer is all of them. So you will be engaging in every club that is run at the school. There's a fair during orientation to introduce you to the different clubs. So we do have like a large fair in our courtyard, which is basically the background that Evelyn has in her screen right now. So they set up all the tables there to introduce all the clubs to you. And if there is a club that doesn't exist and you want to create, you're most welcome to. But yes, you will immerse yourself with mostly our second-year MBAs, not only in the classes, but also in the clubs and extracurricular activities. So you will have access to all our clubs, and then you can also come up with a new one if you don't find the one that suits you. But I'm pretty sure that retail club, we have one, and management club as well.
Yes, thank you. And again, there's lots of different club options for students to join. So no matter what you're interested in, you can definitely find something here. Some students are asking about the visa process, and I think that's definitely a really good topic to address here as well. And this is also something to keep in mind as you're thinking about when you should be applying as well. In general, earlier is better partly because of this visa process as well. Visas can take some time to process. There's documentation that you're going to need to put together to supplement your visa application. And so this is definitely something to keep in mind, that, applying for your visa earlier is always going to be better, just to give yourself plenty of time to get everything ready, to make sure, if you need to wait a few weeks for a visa interview, that you're not going to be really pressing up against our time limit. So the visas, you will work with our Office of International Students and Scholars, OISS, who will be working closely with you to process your visa documentation. You'll most likely be getting an F1 student visa. I think that that's something really important to think about. Again, we talked about the STEM major earlier, so this is something to be thinking about because it has to do with your US visa as well. If you're thinking about taking a STEM, thinking about taking the STEM major, this will have to be declared during the application process, but think about this carefully. And also think about what your goals are for after graduation as well. If you're not thinking about applying for a job in the US after graduation, you don't need to take the STEM major. There's absolutely no reason or no benefit to the STEM major if you're not going to be working in the US or applying for the OPT STEM extension. That's really the only benefit that it's going to be offering you. So if you don't fall into that, then I would maybe suggest that you don't take the STEM major, because that'll allow you a lot more flexibility. And remember that you'll still have the 1-year OPT anyway. That's for every graduate of the MAM program, not just STEM major graduates. So we can talk more about that specifically if that applies to you. Feel free to email us at any time. But again, something to think about carefully before you go through the interview process and the visa process, because that's something that, we can't really change once it's been declared or not declared. So think about that carefully.
Evelyn, we have a question that I'd like to take. There's a question about second-time applicant. So is the application process the same for the second-time applicant? I assume that you applied to the program, weren't successful, and are considering to reapply. And the answer is yes, it's the same application process the second time around. You cannot apply within the same cycle. You can apply the following year. So if you've been not admitted into the program for the class of 2025, you're welcome to apply for the class of 2026, but you will not be able to apply like in subsequent rounds on the same year. The application process is the same, but please start all over. If an application wasn't successful the first time, do not resubmit the same thing, because most likely it won't be successful the second time around. So work harder on strengthening whatever it is that you can strengthen. Like your GPA, you can change that, it's what it is, but maybe your essays can be stronger. Maybe you can retake the GMAT or GRE and get a higher score. Maybe you can prepare yourself better for the interview and impress us in the interview. So the process is the same, but please do not resubmit the same application that wasn't successful the first time.
Great, thanks, Camino. Somebody else is asking again about the GMAT. If they just took the math portion of the GMAT, we need you to take the entire test. So we have an overall test score for you. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about your tests as well. Somebody else is asking about the career fairs at Yale, not just at SOM. So all of Yale University is open to you as a student of the MAM program. So yes, you are welcome to go to the career fair that's being hosted at Yale. We also host lots of career fairs, or we are always having recruiters on campus here at SOM as well. Like I mentioned, we have a very robust career development office that are always hosting programming for students. So there's definitely going to be lots of opportunity for recruiting here on campus, both within Yale University, but also at SOM itself as well. There's another question that was submitted beforehand about visiting. Camino, do you want to take that one, visiting campus?
Absolutely. So we would love to have you come and visit us on campus. If that were the case, if you are going to be in the US and you can come to New Haven, we would love to show you around. We would love for you to meet some of our students if they're in session. And the only thing that we would ask you is that you email us with enough lead time for us to prepare for your visit. So Evelyn, in her last slide, put our email address, which is advanced.management@yale.edu. Elena or Evelyn, if you can put it in the chat so that people have it handy. Please write to us an email. Let us know the dates that you will be in New Haven. And then we will definitely work with you and would love to have you visit and show you around. We will show you around SOM. We can help you arrange for a campus tour of the broader university and also put you in touch with some of our students who are living the experience to tell you more about how they came to the decision of doing the MAM and how they're experiencing it.
Great, thanks, Camino. We have one more question that's come in that's asking if credits earned from a GNAM school MBA can be transferred and counted towards the MAM program. So the short answer is no, but it can be the other way around sometimes. So we have a concurrent degree program with some schools in the global network. So it's definitely worth talking to your MBA school and seeing if this concurrent degree could be a possibility for you. Some schools have maybe a 16-month MBA program, something like that. And if that is the case, then if we have this concurrent agreement with your partner school, you might be able to come to the MAM program and transfer some credits here that you earn at SOM back towards your MBA. So this is a really great opportunity to get 2 degrees within a shorter time frame and for less money, basically, than taking them separately. So the concurrent degree program is a really great opportunity for students at certain schools, but we don't have this program with all of the GNAM partner schools. So definitely reach out to your MBA school to see if this would be a possibility, or reach out to us again at advanced.management@yale.edu, and we'd be happy to talk more in detail about your certain circumstance. I don't see any other questions in the chat just now, and I think we've answered all of them that came through beforehand as well. So if anyone has any last questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A now. Oh, great, we have one more. Will priority be given to GNAM school students, and how many places are there in each round? Great question. So we don't really give priority to GNAM school students, but we do reserve round 1 for GNAM school students and alumni only. So that's kind of a way that you can, get in there ahead of time and have your application reviewed first. But we do reserve slots in each and every round. And we do also reserve scholarship funding in each and every round as well. So I'm not sure if I would use the word priority for GNAM school students, but you do get the opportunity to apply first and to have your application reviewed first and your scholarship funds allocated first. So hopefully that helps. I don't know, Camino, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to say that rounds 2 and 3, there's no priority whatsoever. We take the strongest candidates, regardless of the school they come from. So again, it's just round 1, we will only be assessing GNAM candidates, but rounds 2 and 3, we will be assessing candidates from all over the world. And we'll be taking the strongest candidates. And as Evelyn was mentioning, we have plenty of slots in each round. and scholarship money in each round. So please submit in the round you're ready. Do not rush your application if you don't think it's the strongest you can present yourselves.
Great, thank you. Well, on that note, I think we're right at time as well. Thank you all for your questions and for joining today. This has been a great session, I think, overviewing the program and hopefully answering all of your questions as well. But again, please never hesitate to reach out to us, advanced.management@yale.edu. We're always happy to kind of talk about your individual case specifically and help answer any other questions that you might have come up. But on that note, thank you so much for joining us today and hope to hear from you soon.